There's something I need to address. This isn't the first controversy I've been through on this channel, and certainly won't be the last. But there is something I need to come clean and discuss with you all. Earlier, a few years back, I was called out for never participating in the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Quick Google search and you can find out I never did the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. And before then, I was called out for being a fake gamer. Recently, the integrity of my pro video gamerness has been called out. The other day on Twitter, Barack Obama said, "I want to set the record straight. I don't watch Super Papa John's videos because he is bad at video games." Now, today we have something we really need to talk about. Something that I don't want to. I don't want to talk about it. But we're going to have to. We're gonna have to talk about this. And that is, I was playing some Sonic games, okay? And I have had some Sonic videos on the channel. And my two very first Sonic-related videos, and the first video on this channel, are music videos about Sonic R. And I think it's time that I finally go on the record for those who do not know. And I'm going to say that I kind of think Sonic R is pretty good, though. So, like, this has been going around on the twitter.com. I'm not going to call it x.com. You can't make me call it x.com. On the twitter.com, people have been surprised, maybe, or taken back by the amount of hate the internet has had toward Sonic R for a long time. Things going around like there's a JonTron video.
Look! Everything about it is wrong! Oh, but I do have to give the creators some credit. They programmed magnets into the walls. Do I even have to say anything about this game? Am I the only sane one left in the world? Look at this monstrosity! Do you hear that music?
Now, as I said at the beginning of this video, the two first videos I ever uploaded on this channel were music videos of the soundtrack of Sonic R, where I stood in front of the camera and pretended to be TJ Davis and danced and looked like an idiot. Now, these were for projects in school, and I don't know exactly why I decided to choose the Sonic R soundtrack, but it was something that had lived with me for a long time, because I had played Sonic R since I was like maybe 6. I think I was 6 the first time I played Sonic R. I played it not on the Saturn, and we'll talk about the different versions of Sonic R, but I played Sonic R on the Sonic Gems collection. Now, the Sonic Gems collection is like the Sega collection for freaks. Like, it's the one for weirdos. You know, they made Sonic Mega Collection, which had the games you would think, you know. It had Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic 3D Blast. Like, the ones you would think would be in a Sonic collection. But the Sonic Gems collection was the one for freaks. It had, like, the Game Gear games, it had the Tails Adventure games, had Sonic Labyrinth, it had Sonic CD, which I think was the one they were trying to use to sell it. But what it had on there were the really two weird Sonic games, which is Sonic the Fighters, which absolutely rocks. Sonic the Fighters, so freaking good. We're going on a tangent here, sorry. Sorry for those who tuned in for Sonic R. You're getting some bonus content. Sonic the Fighters is like Fighting Vipers, I think, but with Sonic characters, and it is just the funniest cartoon violence with Sonic characters you've ever seen. and it's got the most iconic characters of all time. I'm talking Bean the Dynamite and Bark the Polar Bear. Who doesn't love these guys? I love these guys. I mean, Bark just slaps your head. He just goes, and Bean the Dynamite, you just mash the A button and you win. Basically, you break somebody's shield, and then they just can't guard against your peckin' nose. But anyway, you had Sonic the Fighters, which was an arcade game, and it got just like a port. They ported it to GameCube. And then you got Sonic R, which is a conversion of the PC version of Sonic R. So that's how I played Sonic R. I played it at my best friend's house. We would come over and we played it, and I just thought it was weird. I thought it was odd. I thought the music was out of this world, and I was like, I don't know if I like this, but we would just keep playing it. I would go to his house, and it'd be like, you want to play Sonic R? Go, sure. And we'd open up multiplayer, and we'd play Sonic R. Or we would try to beat the game again. So the reason Sonic R even exists, okay? So Traveler's Tales, they made Sonic 3D Blast. And Sega in Japan was trying to make Sonic Extreme. And that was a game that never came out on the Sega Saturn. And so they needed a Sonic game, and they needed it quick. And so they hit up our boys at Traveler's Tales all the way in Europe. Sonic R is the most European Sonic game. I mean, you can just, like, look at it for 2 seconds and know that. And they were like, yo, we need a Sonic game. Maybe a racing game? I think they told them it was going to be a racing game. And Traveler's Tales was working on an F1 racing game at the time. And they said, how about you make that Sonic instead? And he runs. And they went, you know, a paycheck's a paycheck, right? This game was developed in 9 months because they needed a Sonic game for the Saturn to be out in December so that maybe somebody would buy the Sega Saturn outside of Japan. The development was weird. They were sending people over from Japan to work on it. It was Traveler's Tales that really made it, but Sega of Japan was there. And so what we got was this weird, it's the strangest racing game I've ever played. It feels so European. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like they made a European Amiga game and made it a 3D Sega Saturn game. It just feels like a European game. I don't know how to describe it. It just bleeds Europe. What you do in Sonic R, of course, is race. Now, the R in Sonic R doesn't stand for anything, apparently. They said it doesn't stand for racing. It doesn't stand for anything. It's whatever you want it to stand for. But it is a racing game where you race on foot, for the most part. And you have these really open-ended levels. Like, it's really open-ended, more so than almost any racing game I've ever played. You can kind of just cut through the whole level, and that's kind of what it wants you to do, but also it's kind of an adventure game, because you want to find stuff. A lot of the game, you will not spend trying to race people, you will do it trying to find coins or Chaos Emeralds, because there's Chaos Emeralds, which you use to unlock Super Sonic, and there's 7 of them in the 5 levels of the game, and then there's these character coins. So these character coins, there's 5 of them per level, and if you get them all, and then finish the race, I think you just have to finish the race with the character coins, you can now race a character to unlock a new character. With the Chaos Emeralds, you have to find the Chaos Emerald and get first place. And if you don't get first place, you get rewarded with a pretty funny, like, you didn't do it screen. the game is not only a racing game, but it's almost like a hide and seek, really quick game, because you gotta like get rings, because the rings make you faster, but the rings also open doors that either open shortcuts or secrets. And most of the Chaos Emeralds are behind doors that cost 50 rings. So what you gotta do is you gotta get 50 rings, get the Chaos Emerald, which is usually out of the way, and then catch up and try to get first place, which honestly is kind of a good time. Now, the main criticism of Sonic R is either one, people don't like the music, which if you don't like the music, I mean, you turn this video off, man. What are you doing here? How have you made it this far in the video when you hate the Sonic R music? But I think the music in this game rocks. It's been in my head for my whole life. It just exists. I've always known the Sonic R soundtrack. In fact, my parents, who are not gamers, know Can You Feel the Sunshine? In fact, my mother was once like a camp counselor at a girls' camp, and as they needed a song to play to wake the girls up, and I joked with my mom, play Can You Feel the Sunshine from the Sonic R soundtrack, and she said, what's that? And I showed it to her, and that is what they played. So there is some group of girls somewhere in my geographical area who went to a girls' camp and every morning woke up to Can You Feel the Sunshine from the Sonic R soundtrack and had no idea it was from a Sega Saturn game, and I think that is the coolest thing ever. But the second thing that most people complain about, and the biggest glaring issue of Sonic R, is the controls. Now, this game controls like a European Amiga game. I'm not gonna elaborate on that. If you know, you know what I'm talking about. There is something charming to figuring it out. I don't think you ever truly figure it out, but you do kind of figure it out. Oddly enough, I find it controls better with a D-pad than with a control stick sometimes. At least on the PC version, when I was playing with a keyboard, I did better than when I was playing with the controller. Definitely weird. You have a drift, but it's not good. Most of the character, like Sonic, is unplayable. He's too fast. You can't control him. Honestly, my favorite character is Knuckles, and then eventually Metal Knuckles, because Metal Knuckles isn't quite as fast, and he's a little bit more maneuverable than some of the other ones. Amy just sucks. Amy is, I guess if you want hard mode, you got Amy. She can't jump. She's the slowest car in the game. She has a mechanic, though, where she can, like, boost every now and again. Eggman's got an ability to shoot missiles, but they're almost useless. If you hit somebody with them, like, almost nothing happens. Eggman's only thing is he doesn't get slowed down by water. Like, they all have little things. I mean, once you unlock Supersonic, though, it's game over. Because once you unlock Supersonic, he's just better than everyone else. Like, it's like going up against a level 99 boss in a JRPG and you're level 75. You don't stand a chance. Like, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're not beating somebody playing a Supersonic because he's just broken. And once you unlock him, if you play as any of the new characters, he's always one of the NPCs, and he is so hard to beat. So, basically don't unlock Supersonic if you want to just have a good time playing the game and play a few rounds, because you probably won't win. Also, this game's got some weird characters, weird models. I kind of love the models, especially the Sega Saturn models. All of the characters you unlock the Eggman robot, which most people will eventually call either Gamma or Omega in the later Sonic games. You get Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, but we can't have a Metal Tails. So we get Tails Doll instead, and I don't know what Tails Doll's all about. And like a lot of people clown on it and make weird Sonic videos that I'm not a big fan of about Tails Doll, but he's there. And he's having a good time. I don't know what he's all about, but he's there. If you're gonna play Sonic R, I don't know if I can really recommend the Saturn version. Saturn version's cool because from a technical standpoint, it's a really competent 3D Saturn game, which there aren't a ton of. It's got a really good frame rate. It's always 30, which isn't a given in that era. And I think it's a cool looking game. I think it's cool on Saturn. The problem is just the PC and GameCube versions are just better. The GameCube version's the easiest pick up and play one. If you can just find that or load it up in unofficial Nintendo software, if you know what I mean, you're gonna probably have a better time. The problem with the PC version is, one, you have to like use a patch to get it to work in Windows. Two, there's no way to edit your controls. And for some reason on my controller, at least I used an Xbox Elite controller, and the left stick was the start button. I don't know why, and I couldn't find a way to change that. So maybe there's a way. I couldn't figure it out. I would play the GameCube version. Also, the GameCube version and the PC version got cool weather effects and stuff going on. And I think it controls a little better. So it's got that. It uses the joystick too. Even if you have the 3D controller for Sonic R, it doesn't work. That game's, which makes me kind of think it's built for a D-pad, but I don't know. But the enduring legacy of Sonic R, really. I mean, I'm not delirious or a weirdo. I know the game is not what people wanted in 1996 or 1997. It's not, it reviewed good enough, but if you look at Sonic R, there really isn't like, it's not a wow piece of a video game, but I think it's cool. I like the vibes of it, and I think the enduring legacy of it is that it made some weird Sega stuff later. I mean, we got Sonic Rivals 1 and 2, which is pretty much Sonic R. It's better than Rayman Rush, so is getting kicked in the shin. Rayman Rush really sucks, so it's better than that. And really, if you look at my Outrun 2 video, I stated that I think Outrun 2 is actually a Sonic R 2.5. And I think that's true because it's got the same vibes. And Outrun 2 is like the best video game ever made, so it's my favorite racing game of all time. So I think without Sonic R, we don't get Outrun 2. So you know what? Sonic R, second best racing game of all time, if you ask me. There we go. That's a video. So in my last video, I gave you water bottle lore. Let's get some more water bottle lore. So I got a new water bottle, and I put stickers on it. I put the Metaphor ReFantazio premium stickers on it, and these stickers suck. I'm calling Atlas. I'm calling Atlas out right now. Your stickers in the Metaphor ReFantazio Collector's Edition box suck. They don't stick to nothing. While my Slitterhead stickers, they stick. Oh, the Slitterhead stickers stick. So what I'm telling you is Slitterhead on the PS5 is better than Metaphor ReFantazio. That's what I got. That's what we're ending it on. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want more Sonic content, go to doubleboost.com, Double Boost on YouTube. There's no doubleboost.com. Go to Double Boost on YouTube. We're playing Sonic Adventure and having a great time, and they're really good videos. We're playing the DX version and the Dreamcast version at the same time. I think it's real good. Anyway, peace.